Okay, I'll admit it. As a boy, I was a plane geek. And all right, maybe I still am. But even if you weren't a plane geek and you were asked if there's one plane that summarises the Battle of Britain and ultimately secured our victory in Europe, what would it be? It would, of course, have to be the Spitfire.
A true blue cycle. Wow.
If you'd been in Eastleigh on the south coast on June the 22nd, 1936, you would have been witness to a historic event, one of the very first appearances of a Spitfire in public. Its invention was just in time. On July the 10th, 1940, it was desperately needed as the Battle of Britain began. And during its service,
thousands of men and girls are making the world's most famous fighter.
Over 22,000 were built.
Playing a vital part in the winning of the war.
Welcome to Headcorn Aerodrome here in Kent, which was actually home to the Spitfires in World War II. And thanks to our dear friends at Aero Legends, they've returned the Spitfires right here. And today, I'm going to get the chance to go up in one of those beautiful babies.
Pre-flight briefings complete. It's time to meet Flight Lieutenant Anthony Parky Parkinson, a former RAF, Red Arrows and Battle of Britain Memorial pilot.
As if I need to ask, but why is the Spitfire the poster boy? I say poster boy, the poster girl, really.
I mean, the Hurricane is a beautiful aircraft, but I would say arguably the Spitfire is just the most beautiful aircraft ever built. Yeah. She's got the classic elliptical wing.
Look at it, there it is.
She looks fantastic, and she flies like a dream.
Why do you think the Spitfire was so iconic?
The sight and sound of a Spitfire you can't help but look at, and I'm sure during the war they would have looked up to the skies and seen these beautiful aircraft flying, and it gave them hope. Spitfire just stands as a symbol of the freedom that we gained from World War II.
Okay, time for me to get in the plane.
How tight do you want them?
Till your eyes water, basically.
And get strapped in very tightly.
Apart from the classic elliptical wing, the one thing that really stands out with the Spitfire above all other planes is, of course,
the sound of the beautiful Merlin. Here we go.
There's something so beautifully nostalgic about taking off in a World War II airfield, in this plane, obviously, on this brass runway as well, and now we're taking off, and suddenly you're just lifting. Just the most magical thing. I think because the Battle of Britain was so important to the freedom of this country and kind of almost the first bloody nose that Hitler got, really. Yeah. And this is so symbolic of that. Where we're going to fly over is so symbolic of that, right?
Absolutely. It'll take us 8 minutes to get to Dover. A couple of minutes from airborne, you'll see the French coast. You know, it brings it home how close the Luftwaffe were, and it was a close-fought thing, but with a fully integrated air defence. Luftwaffe were always met by squadrons of Hurricanes and Spitfires, and we won.
Look, I don't want to appear greedy, but today I'm getting not one, but two icons. This incredible plane against the backdrop of the White Cliffs of Dover.
I mean, every time he must come here, it must bring home that unbelievable sacrifice that the men in the RAF paid. Absolutely.
There'll be blue.
What a welcome sight the White Cliffs must have been for the boys on operations when they return home.
The White Cliffs of Dover.
Knowing they survived another mission, you know, it's very moving, and it's just the most wonderful thing to be able to experience.
It's all going so well until I asked this innocent question.
How sensitive is that throttle?
It's time you had a go on the controls of the Spitfire.
You sure about
Which is not something you probably hear every day of the week.
Yeah, no.
It's done, but you have control. If you want to try a turn to the right, move the stick right, and there you are flying a Spitfire. I'm flying a Spitfire! And then you take the spin towards Ashford.
Right, where's Ashford?
Just left with the nose.
Wonderful.
I'd like to assure the people of Ashford, and indeed the whole of Kent, that Parky was in complete control at all times.
If you're happy, Dermot, we'll do a lovely, gentle victory roll over the airfield.
Fantastic, thank you.
And round we go. How about that? Oh, beautiful.
was extraordinary. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And just the location, to see those white cliffs, it really was an unbelievable experience. So, thank you, Spitfire.